Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron from Growth Generators. Now, in this video, I want to share with you guys 301 redirects and essentially how to do a 301 redirect. Now, in this specific video, I'm going to share with you guys Cloudflare. There are tons of programs out there. They're all going to vary a little bit. This one seems to be the one that most people have trouble with, so I'm going to be diving into that. But essentially, what is a 301 redirect? There are temporary and permanent redirects, and basically, it's a roadmap for Google to go somewhere and say, oh, that's not there anymore. We need to go find the new location for it. So the redirect basically just says, hey, you're actually looking for this over here, and then Google knows where to send you, right? That's the best part about it. Why you would want to use this. If you're changing domains, if you're removing a popular page and maybe want to point the traffic somewhere else, if you are removing a blog post and you might have backlinks, you don't want to lose those backlinks, right? You want them to still go somewhere instead of getting a 404 error, which would mean the page no longer exists or doesn't work, right? So that's essentially a 301 redirect. It's just a map for you to tell or it to tell Google, hey, what you're looking for, it's no longer there anymore. And it just redirects you over there. So you have temporary, if you're going to be just moving somebody over for a certain period of time and then bringing them back, or permanent. Now, the key with this is if you are going to implement a 301 redirect, the general rule of thumb is about 1 year. Now, I use air quotes for 1 year because I've seen, especially with like the testing that I've done with my clients and things like that, or our clients, I should say, is you could probably get away with like 3 to 6 months. 6 months being like more normal if you're really trying to save money and stay in that, in a crunch, then 3 months is probably an acceptable period of time. But I would say the moment you do this is go let Google know that you've made major changes. How do you do that? Go in your search console, update your sitemaps and things like that so Google knows, hey, okay, some things have changed. That is one thing that I would definitely say you should do. But that's essentially it. That's all you want to do. You definitely keep it up there for 3 to 6 months if you can. The longer you can go, the better. The one thing I will say about Cloudflare is you do get 3 page rules, they call them, on the free version. If you want to do the paid version, it's an additional $5 a month for your first rule. The reason why it's $5 a month is you get 5 rules in there, but you have to buy them in sections of 5. Don't ask me why. That's just their thing. I don't think it's great, but that's my opinion. And that's really it. You have a 301 redirect. It goes from one location to another. Keep it up there for 6 months on average. Try not to forget about it. You don't want to be spending money forever, but that's it, right? There's a million other ways to do it, and a lot of other platforms you typically don't have to do this, but in Cloudflare you do. So we're going to jump over to my computer right now, and I am going to dive into this. So this is actually my personal website, harrisonbarron.com. Not a shameless plug. We just don't use Cloudflare for our main company website, Growth Generators. And this is the first thing you're going to go through. Before you get to this, you're just going to have to pick your domain. I mean, it's pretty obvious you're going to pick the domain you're going through, right? And we have our unique visitors, all that kind of good stuff. But none of this matters. We're going to one location and only one location. And that is page rules. So page rules, it's going to bring you up a bunch of different things. Now, I've already previously bought the page rules, so that way I don't have to do it on camera. But you would need to, if you've already used your 3 rules right here, and most Kajabi people, if I understand that this was set up correctly by the Kajabi support people, you probably don't have any rules left. Sorry to bring you the bad news, but that's the case. So you have to buy a package of 5, right? It gives you increments of 5 all the way down to you can have 100 page rules in Cloudflare, and that's it after that, no matter what plan you're on, just so you know. But it's $5 a month. Like I said, 6 months to 1 year. It's 1 year is what, $60? It doesn't stink, yes, but it is what it is. And that's it. So you have your URL description down here, and then this is literally the process that you need to follow if you're doing a 301 redirect. And I'm not going to actually save this just because I literally do not need to do this for any of our stuff currently, but you're going to come in here and you're going to type in your URL. So you can do a couple different things. One, you can have a regular 301 redirect, or you can use an asterisk to make dynamic content or to allow a dynamic URL. So what does that mean? So most people, if you're just moving one page, you're going to do like harrisonbarron.com / I don't know, course, right? Whatever that is. And then you're going to go down here and you're going to pick, you want to do forward URL, that's your 301 redirect. You want to select your status code. Now, this is really important. This is your ability to send Google your signals as far as what is it? Is it temporary or is it permanent? For most people, it's probably going to be permanent unless you plan to revert it back. That's pretty much the only time you're ever going to need that. So you're going to hit permanent, and then you're going to enter your new destination. So up here, maybe it's courses, course learning. And that's it, right? You're just going to do that, and then you're going to do, the page rules in order. You're probably going to want to just leave it at first. That's fine. It gives you multiple options, first, last, custom, if you want certain rules. But that's really the entire 301 redirect process. And then you're going to hit save and deploy. Now, I'm obviously not going to do that because I don't need to do this right now. But that's literally the process. Now, what I would say is the moment you're done in the same pane, go into your website, the back end of your website, and go test it, right? Go to this URL, right? And make sure that it shows up under the new one. I don't know if either one of these are actually correct URLs because I haven't checked, but that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make sure that you go to that URL and make sure it redirects you. If it doesn't, you have a problem somewhere in here. Now, for people that want to move an entire domain, right, that's going to be a massive process. So in that case, you're not going to want to go through and do every single one. And for example, my website has 230 personal blog posts on there, right? And talk all about LinkedIn and podcasting and things like that. I don't want to go in there and do 230 redirects only for my blog and then an additional X amount of for other pages and things like that. So the way I get around that is just going in here, putting in your asterisk, right? And now it's going to take anything after that / as a wildcard. And that's really what it is. It's a wildcard. It's going to be dynamic content, whatever's past there. And you want to, if you're just moving your domain, you might want to change it to Harrison. I'll just use my middle initial here, Harrison T. Barron. And then you're going to do $1. And that's it. Do not pass go. Do not do anything else. You're just going to do $1, and it's going to basically say, okay, great. We're just moving the domain from basically harrisonbarron.com to harrisontbarron.com. And that $1 is going to then allow you to just keep all of that wildcard stuff with that dynamic content in there all the same. Now, it's your responsibility to make sure that the domains and slugs are all the exact same. If they're not, you are going to have a whole slew of issues on your hands until it's resolved. This is a very tedious process. It is, I don't want to say nerve-wracking, but it can be a little stressful, especially if you have a lot of stuff and it's a bit of a mess and you're, the way you've named things and things like that. So just be careful. Go slow. Take your time. After you do this, go test it. If it doesn't work right away, go fix it. If you cannot fix it by the end of your session working on your computer, don't leave this up. Just take it down for the meantime until you can revisit it, because you don't want your website in a degraded state, which might impact your Google rankings, the way visitors interact with it. And honestly, it's just doesn't look really all that good, especially when you're getting 404 errors. They just look nasty and people are like, well, why is this page not found? I thought this was an active website, right? It's just a way to CYA, cover your butt. But that's really it. That's the whole process of it. And then you're going to do that $. Once again, make sure it's permanent redirect. There are other pages in here, auto minify and things like that. Don't select any of them. This is only for 301 redirects. That's it. And then just do the $1 afterwards for your dynamic stuff or your wildcards afterwards. Save and deploy, and that's it. I don't want to say it's that simple, because if you mess this up, it could really ruin your website until you remove it and then go back and fix it again. Spend time on it. Go slow with it. This is literally the exact process you need to do. Watch this video again if you have to, because I cannot stress how important a 301 redirect is, especially when you're using the star and the $and 1. You're dealing with a tremendous amount of content. I will say one other thing. If you want to do a certain section of your website, so let's just say I want to do blog, right? I could do /blog, and if I wanted to change this to, Harrison T. Barron, maybe it's /blog, and then $1, right? So I'm changing the domain, and everything else is going to be carried over because that asterisk and that $1. That is the whole process. So if you want to just move an entire section, or if I wanted to change this to, I don't know, posts. Right, you can do that as well, and it'll go through and just say, okay, great, everything after that is good to go, and that's what needs to be changed. So the star really only carries over the dynamic information, that wildcard stuff, and then into that $1. That is the core of it. I hope this video helps. If you guys have questions at any point, feel free to reach out. Leave a comment down below. If you guys want to reach out to my agency, you're welcome to. I'm not trying to shamelessly plug, but this is a more sensitive topic, and I would normally just say, like, take the data and run with it. Be careful with this. I cannot stress that enough. This is like important stuff. If you want, growth-generators.com. That's it. I'll pull up the website really quickly. And I wish you the best of luck on this. I hate that it's a pain in the butt on Kajabi, through Kajabi mainly, but through Cloudflare. It's not something that you want to do, but this is our agency. Feel free to reach out. You can hit us up with a contact, and we're happy to help you guys. Other than that, my name is Harrison Barron. This is Growth Generators. I'll see you guys later. Bye.